Hello, my name is Kandra Witkowski, and I am the Director of Business Development here at Scoop Soldiers. One of the funnest parts of my job is I get to co-host the Find Your Gold podcast, where we hope to inspire entrepreneurship and maybe, just maybe, find our next pet waste millionaire. We are back on the road. We are in Chicagoland. We are launching our new location, hoping to scoop a whole lot of dog poop in the Chicagoland area. And I bumped into my friend Barton, and maybe against better judgment, he agreed to be on our podcast. He's got a great story. He does a lot of great stuff, and I couldn't help but not pick his brain a little bit and share some of his little gold nuggets that he may have tucked away back there somewhere. So I'll be quiet here for a sec. Kind of tell us who you are, what the name of your company is, and what you guys do.
Sure. So, well, thank you, Kandra, for having me on your show.
Whether you wanted to or not.
Right. I'm Barton Robertson. I own a indoor environmental company called Above Board Indoor Environmental. We do primarily mold remediation, but we also do asbestos abatement, basement damp proofing, rodent remediation in attics, things like that. Pretty much anything indoor environmental.
Okay, so people often ask me. This is my 26th year in dog crap, and people, it's a good question. Like, how the heck did that happen?
Sure.
So most people, as kids, you probably weren't running around like, I sure hope I get to do mold remediation. So no. How did you find yourself here?
So it was an interesting story. Actually, I was a superintendent for another indoor environmental company back in early 2000, and I generated most of the business for them, and I did what I thought was a normal thing. I asked them to let me buy in, and the owner's literal word to me was, "Go scratch." Oh yeah. And so I said,
well, that's great leadership.
Right, exactly. So I said, okay, well, it was around Thanksgiving. I said, you've got till Christmas to, either let this happen with me, or I am going to go off and start my own company, and I'm going to take some of my guys with me. And he laughed at me and said, well, you go for it. You'll be back within 6 months begging for your job back. Yeah.
It's been a bit.
It's been a bit. 23 years.
23 years. Well, I mean, he's probably still sitting there waiting. You should call him, because he's probably still sitting there waiting for you to come back. Okay. So my when we do a lot of these podcasts, and I often ask questions about, like, how'd you get, so getting your first customer was probably not quite as hard, because you had the name, even though you're with another company, you had the name that went with that company, and you had team members that already knew what they were doing. So I'm not going to say starting your own business was easy, because nothing is ever easy with owning a business, but you kind of had at least a half a step in.
I did, but the thing is, they actually didn't do mold. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So that was the interesting, there was nothing in Illinois and not much around the country. Mold was just starting to get noticed because of a lawsuit filed by a lady down in Texas by the name of Melinda Ballard. You may remember the case. She sued Farmers Insurance and was awarded $32 million because some plumbers did work in her house and accidentally flooded it, and she claimed her husband got really sick from black mold. And so anyway, as I was trying to decide what type of business to go into, I had a lot of my friends that were in the trades, and they were like, well, we hear that mold is the next asbestos. Okay. And so I started looking around, and I started noticing there was nobody around that did mold. I mean, there were some of the big franchises like ServPro and Service Masters, and that actually did it, but it was as part of water remediation, water damage restoration, but there was no standalone mold. Okay. And so I said, well, I'm going to do a standalone mold. Okay. And that is actually how I got started. But the thing was, there was no regulations at all, none. Okay. So what we did was we decided to adopt the New York City Department of Public Health's asbestos rules and regulations and apply it to mold remediation. Okay. So that's what we did, and that's what everybody else started doing as well, as it started to grow over the years, and then pretty soon it developed into its own monster, but
you're a lot like me. Chaos comes whether it's good or bad.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, and I'm not saying like being someone that creates or manages or is in chaos is bad. Sometimes it is. But chaos can also be good. So you found a need, and then you said, well, how can I, no one else is leading the charge. Right. How do I lead the charge? And then the chaos ensued. And now you have you've been doing this for 23 years.
I have. And the funny thing was, back then, this was 2003, there was no certifications or anything. So the first thing I did was I found this company that taught home inspection. Okay. Inspection Training Associates. They were huge back then. And So I got a Illinois licensed home inspection license, and I used that as my way into the door.
Oh, like a marketing.
Yes.
I mean, marketing tool makes it sound, but yeah. Like, so you did mold remediation. It was mold remediation at my mom and dad's house. They had their basement flooded, and I, of course, when I knew Barton, okay, we'll have Barton come over. But I never had thought about how, I don't even, like, without knowing you, I guess we would have called the insurance company or something.
Probably, yeah.
And I mean, whether it got taken care of or not, we knew it was black mold. It's very easy to see it was black mold.
Yes.
But how do you even know that you have black mold? Mom and dad's house, we clearly see it. How does somebody else know that they have black mold? Or I should even maybe re-ask, how did the black mold at mom and dad's get so bad? Like, how did we not see it?
Sure. So in your case over there, it happens over a slope, over a long period of time, okay? Now, if there's a ton of water, chronic water intrusion, it'll happen much quicker. But if it's just trickling in from time to time, it takes a long time. It'll go dormant. It gets wet again. It starts growing again. It gets dried again, goes dormant again. This is the way mold works in every situation. It never continues to grow constantly unless it's constantly wet.
Okay.
Okay. The way people would know, so over there though, that was the situation. It had just developed over years and years and years. And as I recall, and this has been a long time ago, but I think it was pretty much like behind some things that they wouldn't normally see, know? So, and that's how it managed to get so bad.
So it starts as a little wet spot somewhere that someone didn't know, a leak somewhere or something, and then it just continues to grow.
Correct.
And then so when it gets to a point, so now you're even saying if it gets to a point that so you have black mold, you call your insurance company, they're going to probably say.
That's exactly what it is. So the ones that do cover it, their writer will say that it's only going to be covered if it's an occurrence versus
so
maintenance.
Like if it flooded here and now we have mold there.
Yeah.
It's the sneaky ones that aren't really covered.
Because they're going to say that you should have known about it and you didn't take care of it. It's maintenance issue and we don't cover maintenance. So
I don't know. I can kind of, like at mom and dad's house, I can kind of see where someone probably should have noticed that. But then how often are we in the basement behind all the cabinets, right? Like I get it.
Exactly.
Like I can see it. I can see it both ways. So is there something? So what's the difference between like like the stuff that you guys come in to do and like the people? Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. They're like, well, we'll just put a fan down there.
Yeah. Okay, so like
drying out the mold will make it go
Mm-hmm.
dormant.
Right.
But it doesn't mean it's solving the problem, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because it's when it gets dry or in a dormant state that's when it becomes most easily aerosolized. Okay. So that's the type. That's when it makes people sick. Is when they start breathing the spores that are in the air now. Most of the time, as long as it's still wet and on the walls, it's real. I mean, there are some that off gas, okay, and those produce mycotoxins, but it's the spores that usually people have the allergic reactions and stuff to, and that's the dry stuff that's floating around through the air.
Okay. So then if somebody realizes that they have mold, or let me roll back to like a marketing question. My thought, and I didn't know this until just now, is if we have mold, we call the insurance company, they refer us to somebody.
Correct.
How are you generating customers and leads if the insurance, or maybe insurance is still your biggest, because they're like, you got to call someone, we're just not paying for it.
Not at all for me. No.
Okay.
So my biggest referral source is actually realtors.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. But the reason for that is because the majority of my business is as a result of a real estate transaction.
Right.
Okay.
The home inspector went in there.
Home inspector, and it's almost, this is the most interesting thing about this is people always think it's going to be mold in the basement, mold in the crawl space, but the truth is 80% of where the home inspectors find it is in the attic.
Oh. Is it because like the the heat and humidity rise?
Yeah, well, it's sort of what happens. There's a few things. One is a lot of times builders would allow the bathroom exhaust vents, the fans, to dump straight into the attic, so people take the hot showers, and that steam dumps into the attic. Okay, so the roof deck is wood, right? Cellulose. It's organic. It already, as an organic material, it has mold in it. Okay, and once it gets wet, it starts to grow mold as long as it'll stay wet for 72 hours-ish. Okay. But what makes it worse up there is a lot of times people get over-insulated, or the people who put in the insulation are blocking their soffits, so they have no intake flow.
Yeah.
That attic will stay wet, and then it just gets really bad. Now there's another part to that too, though. Every winter the homes release their moisture, and it always goes hot to cold. So it goes up like you were saying, it rises and it goes out to the attic, okay? If the soffits are blocked, no air's pushing it out through the ridge vents, it gets
just sitting up
frost.
there.
It can get frost up on your roof deck. Now, it takes longer to dry than just water. Okay, so the longer it takes to dry, the more mold grows.
So how does somebody know that they have a problem in their attic? Because first of all, I'm telling you, that house could burn down. I'm not going in the attic. It seems scary. I'm not doing that. It seems scary and dirty, and that seems like that's not a job for me. So how do you know that what are they looking for? How do you check your attic to know if you have a problem?
The only way you can really do that is just you have to stick your head up there and look.
Or we can have Barton stick his head up there and look.
You can, and that's totally, absolutely 100% fine, and some people do that.
Right.
Most people don't call me, though, unless they have to.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
It's a situation where we had a home inspection, they called out mold, my realtor said you can help us.
Okay.
You know, so then I go out there and I let them know, yes, you do or you don't, you know. And but a lot of the smart realtors, what they do is they actually have me go before they list a house and do a pre-listing inspection of 3 things: attic, basement, crawl space.
Okay.
And I don't charge to do it. You know,
Well, that's good.
And then what I'll do to make it even sweeter for them is if there is no mold, I'll give them a letter of observation stating that I did that.
So you're like, I'm certain, like I know what I'm doing. I checked, and then well, that's so. How do you? So from a marketing standpoint, if your main referral source is realtor, like how are you working that as a business owner? Are you doing lunches? Are you taking donut marketing? How are you?
Sure.
Because so we do a lot of scooping for residential and commercial.
Right.
Realtors and property managers are not normally in the office.
Right.
They're hard to catch because they're out. So how do you develop those relationships and further them along? And like I was just telling Dr. Shane, is that I had a business coach tell me a long time ago, it's not your customer's job to remember you.
No, it's not.
So there are 8 billion realtors in the next 2-block radius.
Right.
How are you staying in front of them?
So something that I did a long time ago was, what I didn't mention early on was I started teaching mold classes for Kaplan Professional.
Okay.
So that got me credentialed with them.
Right.
All right. Then I created a mold class for realtors, and the state gave me 3 CE hours that I could offer to them.
Oh, there you go.
And I provide that as a free class.
Okay.
So I'll schedule it with a real estate office, and they'll let me come in and teach my class. Sometimes I'll get 30, 40 realtors in there, and it's only 2.5 hours, and almost every single time, not only do I get like 30% of the people that were in the class usually call within a week saying, hey, by the way, but half of the ones that are up there call me and say, hey, listen, what you were saying about this, because I'll show them some horrible pictures.
Hopefully it's not my mom and dad's house. Maybe it is.
No, believe me. But they'll call me up and say, listen, this is for my own house. Can you come take a look?
Yeah, of course, right?
And then, but that's usually when I actually end up becoming, their go-to person right after that, because they're like, you came to my house, you told me exactly what it was. And a lot of times, it just works out this way. The stuff in their house is really something really minimal, and they'll tell everybody,
But it plants that seed.
It does. Well, and not only that though, and if it is minimal, I tell them it's minimal, and I don't try to sell them a big job. And they let their clients know, he's going to tell you what it is.
I think that's important, right? Because like everyone, what's that saying? Everyone wants to buy, but nobody wants to be sold.
Right.
Like I would like whatever I'm going in, like if I'm hiring you or whoever it is, I don't know what I'm doing. Right. So if you can trust someone, and I can trust that you're going to sell me what I need to be sold, and if it's another $5,000 in services that I need to have, don't sell me the $2,000 option at the $5,000 option to fix it, but then vice versa.
Exactly.
Don't overcharge me because I don't know what I'm talking about.
For sure.
And that's how you build that relationship of that you're a stand-up guy, stand-up company, and you can call above board because they're not going to screw you, and they're going to get it done right, so that when you go to sell your house, you don't have a reoccurrence of that problem.
Yeah. And one thing that ties right into that actually is one thing that we do that separates us from pretty much everybody else out there is that all of our work comes with a 10-year transferable warranty.
Oh, okay.
And that's so huge in the closing, because that's all the attorneys, the real estate attorneys say, make sure whoever you use, they give you a transferable warranty.
Yeah, so that way it carries on, which that makes sense. So what other marketing do you guys do? Like how important is like social media and a website and like the normal, like we're at the chamber office, like the chamber networking, how important are the other aspects, since so much of your work comes from one silo?
Yeah. So honestly, for me, okay, I've spent a lot of money on the whole marketing thing, the Google ads, all of that stuff, you know, and it's never generated much for me. Okay. I've always found my best is the hands-on approach. Spent a lot of time in realtors' offices. My best offices are the Keller Williams offices because I've personally done work for Pete Economist, who owns all of the local Keller Williams offices. So he tells all his realtors, if you need anybody for this arena, he doesn't make them call me, but he like, recommends me.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, so I think marketing is a whole bunch of things. So people will ask me all the time, well, how does Scoop Soldiers get their customers? I'm like, well, it'd be great if it was one thing. It's not, right? So like for us, digital marketing, digital media is where we get a bulk of our clients. But my franchise owners are still the face in their community. So they're still going to the you know, the Brew at the Bridge and the Making Strides for Strays 5Ks, and they still have to be the face in the community. It's almost like you're saying your industry or your business is kind of the opposite. Like you're built not solely, but a majority on that networking, which I enjoy networking. And I think, so do you still have a website and social media? It's just not your big play.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it backs up. It backs up your networking versus, in my world, a majority of our stuff is digitally created, and then we back it up with the networking. So it's a little bit different.
So for me, the purpose of my website is to provide additional information only as an educational tool. And then I still have the presence on Google only really because there's so many good testimonials on there for us. So I want people to be able to go there and find them.
And those testimonials too, like they, and so I work with our franchise owners, and the Google reviews, like that actually improves your organic. Like it's more than just like, oh, when I do acquisitions, I do new sales, resales, acquisitions, and conversions. When someone wants me to buy their business, I look at that, right? Because if mine are like, if you're underpriced, you don't take credit cards, you don't have any Google reviews or one review, like it all bundles into what I can pay you. And it has become a validator for me to make sure that I'm purchasing a business that's got a good market share and does well, right? So it all ties itself together, and so it's kind of a little bit crazy that way. So let's talk a little bit about home services, because what you do, and what I do is not fun and sexy, right? Like picking up dog crap is not like, people aren't like, but it's got to get done. So how do you position yourself? So we do dirty jobs. So how do you make a dirty job that sometimes we can both agree other professionals in our industries may not have the same level that we do?
Absolutely.
So how do you counter that, or how do you counter it, and how do you counter it in a respectable, professional way?
Sure.
Right?
No, I
the
totally
professional way is...
Yeah, because it'd be real easy to just go in there and badmouth them.
Right.
And
I had a friend, this is years ago, her son's married and has kids, but she had a baby daddy who was not great. And she always said, I never had to badmouth him, he did it himself. Right. So it stuck in my head that I don't have to tell you that this company over here is terrible, because they're going to do it themselves. Right.
and that's funny you say it that way, because that's kind of that's my approach really, is if somebody asks me, sometimes they'll have me look at a proposal that another company's provided, and because they want to go with me, but my price is considerably higher, okay? And I just simply, first off, I don't say, well, those guys are horrible, because I think it's bad practice.
Right,
but
it's just bad juju. But you don't look good by saying someone else sucks.
No.
Even though they suck.
And so I just simply ask them, well, if you could just compare apples to apples, and if you'll notice, one thing about us is that everything we do comes with a 10-year transferable warranty. And I say also, if you'll notice, the products, we use nothing but FiberLock, Shockwave, and Aftershock as our chemicals that we use for the remediation. Whereas you'll notice on this one here, it simply says sodium hypochlorite, which means they're just spraying bleach. Oh. Okay.
Right, like things that I wouldn't.
Yes.
Like if you said I'm going to spray bleach, I'd be like, is there something else? But like I wouldn't know. I wouldn't pay attention to that.
And then, and their warranty then is 1 year usually, where ours is 10 years.
Okay.
And the reason theirs is 1 year is because when they're spraying bleach, yes, it makes the stain disappear for a short time.
It might not be getting all the way in there.
It doesn't. And the worst part about it is bleach actually leaves a film, okay? Which later it's only salt.
Yeah.
And later it becomes mold food.
So like it's porous.
Yes.
So it's gonna okay. So if we're talking about, and I agree with you, I do the same thing. People ask me, or they'll people actually even specifically ask me to like badmouth Pet Butler. And Pet Butler is fine for. I hope you buy a Scoop Soldiers franchise.
Right.
But like there's no need. Like they're a great company. Like there's no need to badmouth anybody. But then Pet Butler, like all the big boys, and a lot of scoopers professionalize things, but there are scoopers that are out there that are not logo, they don't have a website, they don't take credit cards, they're putting dog crap in the back of their Honda Civic,
right.
Like all of the things. So how do you, Scoop Soldiers, we're logo trucks, everyone's background checked, everyone's in, like the whole thing. We take credit cards, you can find us. How have you professionalized a dirty job, right, against competitors?
Well, one thing is there's a few rules I have for the job. First off, my guys they are uniformed as well. Okay, they are always courteous. They will take their shoes off before they go into a person's home, or they'll put on the booties.
Yeah.
During the time they're there, one thing that is so important to me, and it almost never happens, but is that if they ever have an accident, say they're doing an attic and they accidentally step on a ceiling joist up there and a nail pops, you tell that customer immediately, and I've had that happen to us, and the customers have, come and said, we so appreciate you for being honest about this.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of those testimonials come from too.
Yeah.
Is the fact that maybe something didn't go perfect, but the way we handled it, and
it's all about that customer expectation.
it is,
right? Like it's all about that. Like we do a lot of so we can't scoop poop when there's snow, leaf, like tall grass, these kinds of things. So we do our best to educate our customers to let them know preemptively and post. So pre-spring, an email will go out to all, 18,000 clients, right? We can do a better job when you mow your grass. Then when we get there, if the grass is long, we contact the customer again. We think we did a pretty good job. But, so I think when you set that expectation for your client, because I don't even, honestly, Barton, I don't even know that our joists had nails. So I would never know.
Right.
You could be up there doing nothing, and I would have no idea.
Well,
right? So,
sure.
I mean, I'd be like, Barton's here. He said he did it. Bam.
Right.
Like, I don't
Right. What happens is sometimes it'll push a little screw head or a nail head down through, and you'll see it looking up at the ceiling.
I have one of those at my house. I'm going to blame Sean.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think Sean was in my audit. I'm still going to blame Sean. Okay, so that makes sense. I learned something else today. So, okay. So marketing, so your staff, you just leveled it up. Like, here's what all the other schmuckalucks are doing over here.
Yep.
We're not doing that here, right? So how do you work do you work with your customers on referrals, and how do you help generate take those good Google reviews and make them into more actual dollars?
That is,
again, like you're not like you don't need it till you need it.
Right, exactly. One thing I do offer incentives, and that is if a previous customer, and I don't do this with the realtors or home inspectors because for them it's a conflict of interest,
Right.
but previous customers, I let them know if you get me a direct referral that ends up becoming a job because of your referral, I will give you 10%.
Yeah.
And that happens not a lot, but because most of them tell me, no, we're happy with the work and we're just going to refer you because you did such a good job.
But it's back to what I said before, like it's not your customer's job to remember you.
Right.
So if you give them that little nugget, whether they take it or not, you've given them that little seed to remind you to remind them that you're still around, that you would, you did a good job and kind of pass it along.
Sure.
So, okay. So what about other services that you add? You started with the remediation. Have you added more services?
Yeah.
How do you determine what services get added to your company? Because for us, anything that's added in any franchise has to be profitable and scalable, right? As an independent, you can add blah, 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 and you can do it. I have to make sure it's profitable and scalable. So how are you picking out what services get added based on bandwidth, time, money, vetting it out to make sure it's profitable? How do you do all that?
Well, mostly it was done by, I would find out what people kept asking me over and over again. Do you guys by any chance do this as well? And the thing was that kept coming up was, insulation work. Okay, that was the first one. And that one was the first thing we added because a lot of attic remediation jobs, we'd have to remove the old insulation because it was affected. So at the beginning, we didn't replace insulation. We had, they'd have to do that themselves, and because it wasn't part of the remediation. Now it's automatic,
Okay.
But from that, we started doing attic rodent remediation as well. Okay, which always requires removing the insulation and then sanitizing the ceiling and stuff, and then putting in new insulation. So then another thing that was, people would ask us, we do basement remediation as well, and people would say, well, that's great, but you found all these cracks and stuff, or all this seepage.
Yeah. Right, because if you're, it's just going to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we incorporated damp proofing.
Okay. So what about like if our businesses are both like the dirty jobs, do you think that like people that like, I want to own a business, or I want like the entrepreneurs, do you think that they're missing something by not always considering a dirty job? Like, I'm going to own a Smoothie King, or I want to own a tanning salon, or I'm going to own a donut shop, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we get overlooked?
I think we definitely get overlooked. I think that people don't want to get their hands dirty. I think that the work ethic of the kids today is non-existent. I hate to say that, but they don't want to do anything that's going to require physical labor, And as you know, at the beginning, you may not have to do it now, but at the beginning, you're doing all the work, and everything else.
Yep, we always say that we want, my goal for my franchise owners is to not scoop poop full time. But guess what?
Yeah.
We've all had that day where I'm how in the heck did we have, and I hate to put bad juju into the world, but how the heck did all of this happen today?
Right.
And there's certain points that you got to be like, well, guess what? I'm going to have to buck up and go scoop some poop, right? So that's just the way it works. What do you think people that are considering business that aren't considering more of a dirty job, do you think they don't think that we make enough money? Or do you think that it's not fun enough? Like, what do you think is off-putting other than it's a dirty job?
I hate to say this, but I think a lot of them think it's beneath them.
Yeah.
I really do. They think they're better than that, and that they shouldn't have to do that, especially if they've got a little bit of education. Then all of a sudden they think, I should be making $250,000 a year just for playing video games.
Yeah. God, I don't play video games, so I wouldn't.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, that same kind of. I think I would agree. I think that. I would agree. I think it's overlooked, and I don't think people take the time to take a step back and be like, it's not. It's a service somebody needs, and I feel like I'm a helpful person. And even though it's just picking up dog poop, for us, when you hire us to scoop your dog poop, you come home, your yard's clean. You're buying back your time.
Totally.
And it's just the. And my hesitation is, I'm staying with Kyle, Michelle, and the kids, and 13, almost 13, and then 17. And they know a lot. I don't know how your kids are, but my niece and nephews know a lot. Like, way more than me.
Oh, yeah.
Way more than their parents,
Yes.
right? So I just don't want them to pass up. I don't want, whether it's scooping or not scooping or whatever it is, I don't want them to pass up an opportunity because they think they know something that they don't.
Right.
And I do feel like whether it's scoop and poop or walking dogs or mold remediation or painting or whatever it is, I don't think people, I think they're missing it. I just think they're missing it. And obviously I'm in franchise sales, so I'd like to sell more franchises,
Sure.
but my brain can't wrap around more than just our industry. And why do some people think it's so bad? Like, I just can't, and maybe now I'm just self-therapying myself, trying to figure out what it is. But I would agree. I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, really. I mean,
because we make good money.
Yes, we do.
I don't know, speak for you. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not rich, but I do okay.
And me too.
Right? Like,
I'm in the same boat.
I mean, with mortgages paid, everyone's fed.
Yep.
We go on
Get
a
a couple
vacation
trips
or
a
two.
year.
Right? Like, you could tell an entrepreneur,
Yes.
a couple trips, we're okay. Like, like we're not doing so bad. Well, hopefully that will change. I think there is a swing back. So for our industry, COVID, because it's probably similar to more like painting, but you can get a bucket and you're in business.
Right.
If you can put poop in a bucket, guess what?
Yeah.
It's all the other things that are the hard parts,
for
right?
sure.
It's all the other things. So I do think in COVID, our industry kind of got flooded with people like, I can get a bucket, I can scoop poop. Well, guess what? Now we're up here again. We're high. We got a lot of scoopers in the area. But it's, guess what? When you don't feel good, right? And sometimes you don't want to go work, you still have to.
Right.
So it's swinging. I'm doing quite a few acquisitions. It's swinging itself back down. Do you see any kind of influx on that from your kind of industry, or because yours is more of a little bit more of a skilled trade?
Well, yes, but I will tell you, there are a lot of people who think they can just go to Menards or Home Depot and pick up a bottle of mold armor.
And I'm in business.
Yeah, and they're in business, yeah. Until they make somebody sick.
Yeah.
Or they mess up somebody's house. Yeah. And then it turns out, well, they have no insurance. They have, nothing to protect themselves or their clients. And they have really nothing to be able to back up anything they did.
So from the consumer standpoint, how do I know if I'm hiring Barton that knows a lot of stuff? Well, obviously I would just call you, but Barton that knows a lot of stuff, or the dude that's like, psh, I got this bottle of stuff from Home Depot and I'm in business. Like, how does a consumer vet that?
I would say, the only way you really can do it is look at all the, the things online, or
like the reviews,
the Better Business
referrals.
Bureaus, like for example, I stopped paying years ago for the Better Business Bureau to be a member of it, or to be what they call the.
I didn't even realize they're still around.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you go on the Better Business Bureau, they still have to have me as a A+, because there's no complaints, So it's, and the only reason I stopped paying for it was because they just kept trying to take more and more and more.
Yeah, it's almost like back, Yelp. I don't know how it originally started, and I don't like I'm still the person that, like, in my age, I like to know, I need the sausage, I don't want to know how it makes.
Yeah.
Just tell me how it works. I just need it to work. But at some point I realized that on Yelp, you can list your business on Yelp, but then you can pay more.
Yes.
To be, and I'm like, like some of that, So do your due diligence, look at websites, ask the questions, get 2 quotes. Would you recommend getting
Absolutely.
2 quotes? Like,
yes,
make sure you're
for sure
figuring, make sure Apple, and I guess if you got 2 quotes and one is more and the person can't justify it, or one is way less, you should be asking more questions.
Exactly.
And just making sure you're comparing apples to apples and kind of going through, okay.
Yeah.
So what would be, if there's someone out there that's thinking, I think like these 2 ding-dongs seem to be doing okay. And I think maybe I'll give small business, or like a small, my brain just froze, small like outdoor services or indoor service, home-based services, a shot. Like, where would you lead them to start? Like, if, whether it's scoop and poop or mold or painting or whatever it is, lawn mowing, whatever it is, where should they start to figure out which dirty job is the right one for them?
Which dirty job to do?
Yeah, like how, like what? Actually, I watch this podcast, and this seems like something I have overlooked the dirty jobs.
Yeah.
Like, how do you figure out where you go?
Well,
other than calling me, because I'll award you a franchise.
Right, exactly. I think the best thing you can do is just start doing your research on it, and definitely go online, and put in the keywords you need to look up the industry you're interested in. And then also look into associations for those types of industries, because you're going to learn a lot from the associations. Also publications, because there's a lot of publications. And if you know of a company that's reputable, go to their website, and you can learn a lot about the industry from a reputable company's website.
I think too, and I think a lot of people, like you and myself, are like just natural networkers, natural mentors, natural, like I can just about, the amount of, I'm not lying, the amount of people that call me that own a scooping company somewhere else, or want to have a scooping company specifically where an area where Scoop Soldiers would not be a good fit, the amount of information I give them for free is ridiculous, because in our industry I feel like we all win when we all win. And so there's people like myself and Barton that if you're like, I think I live in Des Moines, or I live in wherever, hit us up, like ask questions. Like, there are people out there that will help you, and so maybe mentorship, do your research, check the association, figure it out. Would you ever suggest, I just thought this, would you ever suggest, if you think you want to go into mold or scooping or whatever, maybe work for someone for a few months and see if it's your jam or not?
Absolutely, that's a great idea.
Because I'm not going in the attic. I tell you right now, I'm not working for you. Because I'm not going in the attic. I'll send you up there first and stand on here, hold your coffee.
Sure.
I'm not going. It's dark and dirty up there, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's not a glamorous job.
No.
There's no question about it.
How tall are you?
6'2.5".
How does someone who's 6'2.5" get into an attic?
Daily.
Do you really?
I do. Now, I'm not up there remediating anymore.
Right.
But I'm still the one who does all the estimates.
No, I'm not doing that either.
Yeah. And I walk or crawl the whole attic, just so that I can make sure that I'm not going to miss anything.
Right. So you're a very healthy individual. So we were talking before we got on here. I've fallen off some of my workout routines. I got to get back into things, and so maybe okay. So this is going to be my mental note to quit being lazy and get up and run out to the Peloton or get on the treadmill or maybe lift some weights, so that I'm able to, I'm not crawling into a crawl space, but if I had to, I could.
Yeah.
We'll try that. All right, that's a good one. So we talk a lot about motivation and motivating people because the grind is hard.
Yeah.
Like every single day, right? And for your business, you get some referrals, but you're selling every day.
Every day.
Right, like every day. I had a pool guy I talked to once, and he's like, because you don't get a lot of repeat business on pools. He's like, I sell every day. Are we gonna make it? How do you keep yourself motivated through the grind, the get up, sell it, get the guy set, get in the attic, out of the attic? I mean, how do you do that?
Well, there's one thing about entrepreneurship. It's the only thing in the world where you wake up every day and you could be unemployed,
It's very true. It's very true.
So that's it for me. Plus, I do like my trips, and I know that if I'm not out there,
right,
hustling every single day, that I might be able to make my mortgage, but I'm not going to Jamaica.
Right.
So
right.
to me, that's what keeps me motivated.
Is the family and the trips
Yeah.
and all the things that go by. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Like I always kind of feel like my motivation isn't always, almost very rarely is money, but I never thought of it from like not the money, but the stuff that comes with having the more flexibility and the freedom.
Yes.
Right. So, and I would be willing to bet you would say the same thing. I'm not looking to make more money. I'm just looking to see if I can have more flexibility in my life. Go on a trip with your wife and the kids.
Yeah.
Like, and that doesn't always happen unless you have money.
Right.
Right.
That's
so
an absolute fact.
I never thought of it that way. That it's not just I need a bigger paycheck. It's
Right.
what can having a couple extra bucks today allow me the opportunity to do that I couldn't do yesterday.
Yep, that's it.
Huh. All right. Well, we'll wrap on that because I don't unless you have another motivation you want to give. That was pretty. I got some therapy out of this, Barton. I don't know if that's what you were intending today when I roped you in to come in and talk about mold.
No, I just saw an opportunity to see my friend who I haven't seen in a lot of years.
Yeah. Well, if you have any questions about mold, whether it's in the Chicagoland area or not, I know Barton would be happy to answer your questions. We'll link all of your stuff below. If you're a realtor in the Chicagoland area, for sure reach out because he's the guy that will be able to help educate your classes or do education in your classes and be able to help you guys take care of clients so that those sales and those closings go smoothly.
We are the deal saver.
The deal saver. We'll get you the deal saver, and I don't really have a tagline for myself. We take the stink out of pet ownership.
There it is.
I mean, I didn't make it up. It's on our shirts and stuff, so I should have probably remembered that. But well, there you go. Now yours says never leave a pile behind.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, we have that too. We have a lot of them.
Nice.
So, but dog crap allows for a lot of fun.
I bet.
Probably more fun than mold, but
Probably.
Well, we'll link all of Barton's stuff below. If you have any questions about pet waste removal or Scoop Soldiers franchising, you can always reach out to me. I always appreciate people watching. You never know if someone's going to find, our stuff interesting and become our next pet waste millionaire. Our advice, we'll end on our advice as being don't overlook the dirty job, because while neither one of us are rolling in bags of money, we do okay.
Yeah.
So don't overlook the dirty job and think that the fun and sexy and whatever industry is better, because dog crap and mold, it ain't half bad.
And it's not going away.
It's not going, well, dog poop goes away, but it just comes right back again.
Right.
But you can check us out at scoopsoldiersfranchising.com. And again, we'll link all of Barton's stuff below so you can reach out and contact him if you have any questions.